Howdy out there. It's Dave Duford here at DeFord Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense and Medicare, both face-to-face and over the phone. And today I have a good friend in the business, Mr. JasonFinalExpense, to talk to us about the top 7 tips to succeed in selling insurance, final expense, or otherwise successfully over the phone. Jason, say hello.
Hello.
Jason, thanks for being here. I'm so glad to have you. We're having a great conversation today. So in case you don't know about Jason, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of his background. So let me go over my bullet points here on the screen. So Jason has been in the insurance and telesales business for over 20 years. So he has a significant experience successfully selling insurance, both face-to-face and over the phone for sure. And a little bit about his production in recent time. As of March 2020, okay, he sold 51,546 AP completely over the phone. And that was a total of 74 sales in 33 days, right in that period of time. Now, over that 7-month period of time, what was that about? Like, say, what, March till what month would you say that was roughly, Jason?
Oh, goodness, what? I'd have to keep track of it. It's crazy. It was
Like
basically
October or so, like last
right. It was
year.
like late September, early September.
Yeah. Jason had issued a total of 300 issue paid, not submitted. All right. That's a phantom number. Issue paid means stuff that was sold and is on the books. 369 policies in 7 months. All right. And this is before he started full-time training in his agency. He recruits agents to do final expense telesales full-time like a madman, as you'll discover here shortly. And is just a very good, trustworthy, and experienced pro when it comes to telesales. And that's why you should be listening to him. He knows what he's doing. He has lots of great advice for you guys that are aspiring to do any sort of telesales, certainly final expense over the phone. And now we're going to jump right in. So Jason, let's talk about those top 7 tips about being successful doing any kind of telesales over the phone. First thing we want to talk about is commitment. Are you really committed to this process of selling virtually or selling over the phone? Could you kind of expand on that, please?
Absolutely. So many agents, and thanks for having me on. So many insurance agents, just like in the dating relationships, right? They're not truly committed. They're just playing around. And in insurance, you've got to be committed. You've got to know, first off, what you want, right? Just like choosing a spouse. You got to be ready, okay, to truly commit to insurance. It's not a job. If you treat it like a job, you're going to get thrown hard. You treat it like a career, right? Or a calling, more importantly, you're going to be better positioned to succeed as an insurance agent, right? So it's like, you don't go in with like a little toe. You got to go like all in, burn the dang ships, go one way, and be ready to just dive into whatever your heart is. Don't be like going, oh, I'm going to go a little bit face to face. I'm going to maybe go a little bit telesales, or maybe I'm going to start trying to fart around with Zoom, or maybe I'm going to sell a little bit of this or that. Like, quit trying to be the world's like Swiss Army knife of insurance salesmen. You're going to like just cut your fingers trying to use it as a screwdriver, right? This is the same way with insurance. You got to be committed. So once you do, be committed to whatever the pathway is that you're going to take, right? Just say, okay, I'm going this direction and I'm not going to turn around. Just be ready to go into it and go into it with all your heart. When you're committed to that point, right? Just like, okay, a spouse that, you know, you're courting for the purpose of marriage, not for the purpose of just a good time. Okay. You're going to be all in, let's go. And that's rare these days, right? We're in a generation of, oh, I'm just going to change my mind anytime I feel like it. When you're committed to success and you're committed to a career or a calling, it changes the mind and it changes your segues to success, in my opinion.
In the telesales world, how important is it to be focused on one singular product versus branching out to multiple ones? You mentioned kind of the walking the line between face to face and over the phone, and why that may not be a good idea. How does that relate to just picking one product versus many when it comes to selling over the phone?
Well, you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? So when you're first starting out, you have to be myopic. You have to go one direction and one direction only, right? Until you've mastered the one direction, you shouldn't be diversifying. It's kind of like bandwidth, right? You've got bandwidth, all your kids are home at school, if you're at home doing anything, right? And they're like sucking your bandwidth and then you don't have enough. This happens in the insurance world. If you don't stay with just like one product, what happens is your mind gets like spread apart so that you're not really good at any one thing yet. You got to go like Ethernet. You got to go straight line. You got to go straight to one product offering, get really partnered up right to be able to sell that offering. And then once you've truly mastered it, then add another one to the arsenal, right? Put another arrow in your quiver. Okay. If we were in the Robin Hood days, you got to just put another arrow in the quiver. I made a big mistake early on in my career where when I first started in insurance, I wanted to know everything all at once. And that cost me money. And until I figured that out early on, like I need to quit trying to study everything and like spread my bandwidth all over the planet and focus on one thing and get good at it. At that point, that's where my career went from like being all spread over the place and just doing okay to really like taking off and launching.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like if you think about athletes, how many are elite in multiple sports? Tiger Woods is only good at golf most of the time, sometimes not. But you get the idea, right? Athletes have chosen a particular approach to this business or approach to their business of whatever their sport is, and everything gets put to the sides. And wouldn't we agree that they're successful? We don't hold them as being less successful because they're not good at basketball when they're also good at football. And I think that speaks to a broader point you're making. It's hard enough to be good at one thing. And if you recognize that and have humility, going all in is not a bad thing. And that's going to give you the best chance of success. And like you, I personally made mistakes of doing too much too soon. And I found success in my life when I focused on that one thing. And I think that's a huge piece of advice for any new agent, especially in the telesales side.
Absolutely. And then also, the next point, just making sure that you're partnering right. That is so critical. Okay. And like,
yeah, talk about why partnership is so critical when it comes to the telesales world.
Well, it's the difference between success and failure sometimes. I mean, I get agents that call me wanting to work in my agency saying, Jason, hey man, I partnered wrong. I need you bad. I'm like a week or two out from being out of this career. I don't want to work at Home Depot. Right. Would you please take me on? And I've got a stack of folks trying to get on the agency that I don't hire. I don't have partner up because it's just not the right fit. Okay. It's just like, your wife is amazing for you, right, David? My wife's great for me. May drive us both insane. Okay. There's not enough alcohol in the world to deal with a wrong spouse, right? Just drive you insane sometimes. And this is the way with insurance that sometimes you, as an insurance agent, you partner in the wrong place and you just didn't know it. And then you realize, crap, I partner with a face-to-face agency and they've never really done telesales at where I want to go. I want to really get good. You got to make sure that you're being trained from people that have truly done it, right? So you don't get bushwhacked. Make sure you're following a proven trail, a proven system that's duplicatable. So you're not like, following Tarzan swinging from the trees on how good they are, but they can't duplicate the trail so that you can follow it. Sometimes, agents, right, in certain agencies, they're like, look at me, look at how great I am, but they don't have the ability or the patience or the humbleness to be able to train others. And duplicatable skill sets important. That's why I say, make sure you partner right. Make sure you resonate with your agency owner, with your mentor, more importantly, the person that's going to be investing in you. I always say on my YouTube channel, vet your trainer. It's critical because if you're partnered wrong, okay, it's like, you thought it was just like a fun time and then you put the ring on and you're like, oh, crud. Okay. This is not good at all.
You may not have a second chance, right? Most people fail this business and they don't come back and they're missing out huge.
In telesales, the success is amazing. Like when you're properly mentored, properly trained, it's explosive, right? I got an agent from a great agency, right? Starts with an F. We'll just leave it at that. Everybody can put the things together, okay? But he graduated my telemastery seminar. And great face-to-face agent, right? Very new, but started doing telesales. And everybody told, them when they left that you'll never make it. Telesales is horrible. You can't make money, right? Because you can't train to what you don't know. And that's why partnership is huge. You cannot be trained by someone that doesn't know what you're doing. So took the leap of faith, joined the agency. And my goodness, over $14,000+ in 11 of his first days, okay, $11,000, and we're talking like massive amounts of sales. Okay, we're talking like 20+ sales. We're not talking like a one-trick pony. They got lucky. Okay, very much hard work. And that's 10 days, 11 days of work, and that's nothing, right? So it's like having duplicatable results and duplicatable skill sets from mentors that can truly duplicate other agents where you want to land. That's valuable. Because sometimes, as you know, David, you see people that hop into the insurance industry, you go into the career briefing, you go into the little rah-rah session, here's the Lamborghinis. All the managers are flossing with big fat gaudy rings and like, I'm buying a new Tesla, and look at, what are you going to buy? A new Audi, a new Lamborghini. And all the agents are like pounding the phones on 3-year-old leads. It's like a recipe for failure. Or they're like, come join our agency, we'll be over here. And it's like, how long y'all done telesales? Well, a couple of months, we're figuring it out. Run.
Right.
Make sure you're right.
And I think that bleeds into this third point, which is positioned for success. Tell us how agents should be positioned for success if they want to be successful selling over the phone.
Well, you've got to be put into the right, position to succeed, right? Make sure you're getting good advice. I had a great agent this week that I ended up partnering with and bringing on in the agency. And this sweet agent, sweet lady, talked to like 6, 7 different agencies about telesales. And you know what they told her, David? They told her she needed to buy over $2,500 worth of licenses for non-residents. And then she had to go fly out to another state to get trained on how to use their CRM. Wow. Okay. And then she had to dump thousands and thousands of dollars and commit to it every month. It's like, wowzers. That's not the right position. You don't need that. You just get one state. That's all you need if you're properly trained, if you know how to do outbound, right? If you're inbound, that's a different animal. But an inbound agent, nothing against inbound agents. I've got some in my agency, but let me tell you, the outbound reps, they are a better, skilled and disciplined agent, which will kind of bleed into the next point here. But being positioned for success is making sure you've got good leaders in front of you that can guide you into proven platforms, proven ways to help you be successful. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? But they know how to position you. Just like when you hop into military boot camp, everyone's like, oh, yay, I want to be into the Army. And then it's like, oh, I'm not sleeping as much as I used to. And it ain't like mama's food. This tastes like boiled chicken. Okay, this is no good. But when they're done, they come out as men. They're strong. They're patriots, right? And they're patriots before they started. But you know what I'm saying? They're amazing men and women guarding us. Love the military. But let me tell you, like, they go and do those really tough things and they come out just strong.
So yeah, talk to us about how discipline plays a role. And it's interesting, you think, oh, telesales, I'm going to love it. I'm going to sit around in my underwear and put my feet up and everybody I talk to is going to buy from me. Well, what's discipline really like when it comes to the final expense telesales or any telesales?
Discipline is massive, David. I mean, you got to discipline so many different things, right? You've got to like tame the stallion within you, okay? Because it's like everybody wants to be like the black stallion. Ooh, I'm just going to hop over the hills in my pajamas and everybody's going to call me and buy insurance from me. That's the biggest lie, okay? You're not going to ride the unicorn and saddle it. It's not going to happen. Okay, you got to be able to tame the beast, right? You've got to do the hard things, not the soft things, okay? I tell every one of my reps, any one of my seminars that I do across the nation, I tell them straight up, you better be prepared to do the hard things. Like, get out of your dang jammas every morning, first off, okay? You start with a pattern of discipline, okay? I get up and beat the crud out of my alarm clock every morning. It is a rare day that my alarm clock wakes me up. And my agents are the same way. Love them to death. We partner hard. We do some fun things, but we're disciplined. Our mind is disciplined. Our skill set is disciplined. And our training is brutal, okay? Like, there is not a call that comes after an agent is properly trained and goes through my telemastery program that surprises them. And that's powerful. Like, when you go through a training program that's so intense that you're like, whoo, thank God, Mrs. Johnson, you're awesome compared to what I just walked through. I just walked through the dang gauntlet, playing whack-a-mole. That was like brutal compared to what I just did with you. You're way nicer on the script than ever I was trained over there. But it's like, when you train hard, then when you get the softer and the easier things, right, it just makes it like no big deal. Nothing surprises you. The last thing you want to do as an agent when you're scripting is to never have, been trained by people that are at a different level, right? You've got to raise your altitude if you want to raise your aptitude and your skill set. So it's like, it's not blind leading the blind, okay? I never have brand new reps training brand new reps or scripting brand new reps. I just think that's like, I don't have people with COVID, right? If I was a medical doctor treating people that have COVID, it's like, my goodness, y'all are sick. I'm going to be like, let's go. Let's have, have a master, have someone that's really healthy, that knows how to do it all day, every day, be in a position to train on that bandwidth, that platform. And that discipline is transferred over. And that discipline, you've got to have kind of like the drill sergeant, where it's like, they love you, but they're doing the hard things with you to make you better. And when reps know where the heart is of the trainer, it helps implant the training into the subconscious mind, which then becomes conscious in your implementation of what you've been taught and trained. But the discipline, you've got to like get out of your jammas. You got to get on that phone. You better have business hours. You better be ready to roll. Yeah, the client can't smell your breath. Go brush your teeth before you start your day. Okay, like seriously. Okay, I got 3 kids. I'm like, come on, man, go brush your teeth, right? Like, us as insurance agents, be in a position of massive discipline so that, you are successful. Discipline trickles down in everything, okay? So you want to start taking shortcuts, you want to do the soft things, it will translate and bleed into other parts of your career that you didn't see coming, okay? Lazy, okay, reps, I know people hate hearing the word lazy, right? But reps that are lazy or get kind of complacent is probably a better word. Complacency kills. Okay. It kills more insurance agents than we've probably ever seen. It's because they got complacent, or maybe they didn't reach out. Okay. That's complacency. Okay. Do those hard things to be successful. Do the disciplined things and be in a place where you receive, right, the discipline and you implement it. Okay. Pride will kill you in this space. So, if I started off my insurance career and thought I knew everything, I'd be hammered. I'd be done.
Right.
There's no
sure. So let's you kind of hinted at how you kind of look at training and getting set up successfully, and then mentorship and that kind of thing. I know a lot of people are listening to this are interested in telesales. They haven't perhaps found the right organization or still doing their diligence. Do you mind sharing with the audience kind of how you approach how to train a new neophyte agent? Maybe they've never sold before or just done face-to-face. What is kind of your overarching 1,000-foot process to get somebody sales ready to sell successfully over the phone?
Well, it's definitely a process. Okay. It's not like a lot of reps, okay, that have come to me from, other places where they failed or haven't made it. They're kind of handed a script and said, see you later. That isn't going to do it. Okay. So my training process is very extensive. Okay. Even agents that have come to me from other big named agencies come into my walls and partner, and they're like, oh my goodness, like what you've done in 2 days. We go like 5 days deep on average. Some agents, if they need more mentoring and more training, I will not graduate an agent for my telemastery program until they are ready to launch. Okay. You don't put things into space until the rocket boosters are screwed down properly, until the fuel cells are full and not leaking. Okay. A lot of agents get into a place where it's like management or their upline or whatever's like, oh, here you go, have a great day, go buy leads. Boom, and they explode and it's ugly and they're over with. My training is very extensive. So it's like, it's typically 5 days straight. Okay. Nonstop training. It's not like, here's this, see ya. It's very much intense. There's some training sessions that may go 2 hours. I've had one training session that went 4.5 hours straight for a couple agents, just investing in them and mentoring into them the skill sets necessary, right? It takes not only the hard things from an agent, but it also takes the patience and the hard things from the trainer, right? It's important to be able to go to that next level of training, and that gives you the next level of success. So training is key. Like what I provide to the agents that partner with me is very in-depth, proprietary training. It's not a mutant script. It's not mutant training. It's like very high intent, very skill set training. I ran professional, call centers. I mean, twin predictive dialers, 70 plus butts in a seat, true brick and mortar, multiple locations, and they're all W-2. I trained every one of them. Okay. I wrote the curriculum on how to do the tele. I wrote all the rebuttals with my own. Okay. Back then, I don't think they had BIC 1.0s. It was probably like a Papermate, right? But it was my brainchild. So it's like, then when I stepped into insurance and then now doing telesales, nothing came from something else. It wasn't a diluted platform. And a lot of times the stuff you see in the telesales arena is like, it's kind of this, and then they kind of like changed a couple little things and tried to make it work for telesales, and it's just not as effective. It's not. So it can get the job done, but it's just not as good. It's like, you want to cut your steak with a hatchet, or would you rather have a razor sharp butcher knife? I'd rather have a razor sharp butcher knife and cut a steak. So it gets just more results. That's why, men and women that partner my agency, I'm just crazy proud of them and the success that they can duplicate, right? Because they've done the hard things in training, and they were willing to do the hard things. Like, I put a lot on my agent's plate in training. It's not softball. Okay. We train to the next level, and the agents really enjoy it because they know what the finished result looks like. Like, when you can take 4 agents that graduate out of a telemastery program in a week that just went through, boot camp basically of telesales, and then 3 of the 4 of them all write business their very first day on the phones, that's not common. It's just not. You don't have 75% of your graduating class all writing business your first day. It's not industry norm.
Yeah.
Not when you're outbound.
Yeah, right. And that's what's so impressive about what you do, Jason. You've been a personal inspiration to me to even revisit the way that I train and to put more down like you have and triple down on the effort, because training is the missing element that so many organizations don't do enough of. And applied, and when you as the trainer give it your all, you will see an outcome. If there's agency owners watching this is the secret too. If you give to your agents to help them succeed, they will give back to you. And if you want more results, you train them more, you train them better. And so one thing that Jason does unique that I've not seen any other organization do is just the amount and level of training that he provides his people. He is absolutely passionate towards it. And it makes a huge difference in success. And you need it for telesales, because if you're coming into this face-to-face, it's totally different. And you need to have that edge in your favor. Or any organization you join, that should be the standard, is how much are they going to train you on this. Now, the last point, maybe perhaps the most important point in being successful with telesales is taking that leap of faith. What do you mean with that when you say that leap of faith that ultimately all agents have to do if they want something out of this wonderful business?
Well, think about gravity, right? Like, gravity strikes every human being. If I jump out of my chair right now, I'm going to fall to the ground. Okay. When an agent is in a position where they're properly mentored, properly trained, they've got somebody that helps them and has them to the place where now you're ready, right? You got to implement. You got to have faith enough to pull the trigger and purchase leads. Okay. And so many times it's like you get cold feet, right? You get halfway to the altar, you got the beautiful lady, and you can't say I do when you're running from the church. Okay. Some insurance agents get well trained, and it's pretty rare. Okay. But there's agents every now and then that get really well trained, and like, it's the fight or flight mentality. We're like, it's tough to commit. It's tough to take that leap of faith and buy and put out my hard-earned money for leads that now I got to have enough faith in myself to be successful, right? The faith in myself to get a return on investment, to have a good ROI, because they're independent they're independent agents, right? So it's like their own skin in the game. It's not like it's some agency somewhere paying for crap leads. They bought them themselves. Their skin's in the game. They got to have that faith to say, you know what, I'm going to put that money out and I'm going to implement what I've been taught, and I'm going to do it and do it well. And I'm going to have the guts. I'm going to have the courage to succeed. And let me tell you, it's scary sometimes, especially if you haven't been trained right. But even when you have been trained right, there's a little bit of faith that will have to come out of you, right? You're going to drop, let's say, $1,000. You're going to drop maybe $600 on a week and say, let's go, giddy up. Okay. You got to be in a place where you're ready to do that. And every now and then you got folks that don't believe in their own ability, right? That's where mentorship comes into place. Good training comes into place so that they can have increased faith, increased certainty. But it does take faith in your commitment, faith in your opportunity to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to get the card out, I'm going to get the check out, and I'm going to write it. And then I'm going to double down and do high action and make this happen. It's scary, right? It is scary for anybody when you're stepping into kind of the abyss, the great unknown, right? Telesales is amazing. Okay. Even face-to-face is amazing. And it's so important, to just do it right and to commit to leads. Don't be buying these old leads unless you have to, right? If you have to buy old leads, fine. Go dig through the dirt, get your hands really, really dirty to find your little speck of gold. And there's gold up in those leads. But it's better to have greater faith and to put it into better leads to have a better outcome and just a smoother transition. Step into a better way that you can have more yeses than to go through a lot more no's with an aged platform or maybe a substandard lead, right? The tuna fish leads out there. There's a lot of garbage, okay, that not fun. Make sure you have good lead flow, but faith is important, but you've got to implement, because if not, you get trained, right? Like men and women that partner with you as well. Let's say they say, okay, I'm ready. And then they wait 2-3 weeks to do anything. They just lost faith. They lost certainty. So everything you taught them is like dropping. It's like, you talk to, somebody on the phone and all of a sudden it's like, well, that just got awkward, everybody, right? And it to you for 2 dang seconds. Okay. If you stop what you're doing with training for just a couple seconds, couple days, okay, gravity's doing this, that awkward moment that we just had right here together, okay, is going to strike you on a way bigger platform. Everything you knew, everything you were taught, trained, and mentored just started dropping. You've got to have faith. It takes courage, but you've got to have faith to invest in yourself, to invest in your career so that you have an opportunity to succeed. And when you invest with faith and you do it again and again, and you truly plan to this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to burn the ships. I'm going to get trained right. I've got good mentorship. I've got good guidance. Okay. I work 12-hour days, Monday through Friday. Some days I work longer. Okay. I'm not the most eloquent. This is my Friday. You guys deal with it. Sorry. It's what it is. You're getting the rest of the gas in my tank. Okay. And I still got a lot of giddy up left, but men and women in my agency, when they need something, they call me. This thing is glued to me. Okay. Glued. And it's like, it's a game of seconds sometimes, but the men and women have to have the faith to invest and to believe in themselves enough to succeed. You've got to have that core. And that's where the first point of commitment comes into play. Okay. Are you really committed? Are you ready for the marriage? Okay. Go in, no prenups, go do it. Be committed, be prepared to have faith and invest in yourself and have belief in yourself enough that you set yourself up for success, not failure.
One thing too, I think that serves to this point. Ultimately, everybody has to take a leap of faith. You did when you first started. I did. Every successful person in any walk of life, there's always going to be doubt. However, the one thing, for example, in partnering with you guys, is that the truism of to be confident, you become competent. Confidence comes from competence. When you're well trained, you will have confidence. And if you don't have good training, of course, you're going to doubt. It's normal because you don't feel right. So the solution to that kind of doubt is not to wing it. It's to be trained and trained and trained some more to be as prepared as you ever can be. Because there will be the time when you do have to take that leap of faith, but it won't be across a chasm. It'll be across a tiny little stream out in the front yard, because you've got the preparations in place to do it. So Jason, thank you for your time here. I appreciate you going over the 7 tips of success to selling final expense or any insurance over the phone. I'm sure a lot of people want to learn more about you. Where can they go to learn more about, say, your YouTube channel and your website and more about what you do to help agents sell over the phone successfully?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. If anyone would like help, they can always reach out. I'll help in any way I can. JasonFinalExpense.com. You can always check my YouTube channel out, Jason Final Expense. Lots of good quirky content. So have fun with that. It's a lot of good stuff. I love what I do.
Jason, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.